welcome you all to the third meeting we've had on the upcoming draft Coliseum area specific plan. This is a very ambitious plan. It'll be a 20 to 25 year plan for the 800 acres within the plan area, which includes the Coliseum area as well as the Airport Business Park across the street and the Hagenberger corridor from San Leandro essentially down to what is the farther south boundary on Hagenberger? It'd be Doolittle? Yes, Doolittle. Thank you very much. So a couple of things that we've heard in our other previous meetings we wanted to highlight is that we've heard that obviously there's great interest and support for keeping the teams in Oakland, and that is one of the primary drivers behind this plan. We want to, of course, also address the health of local residents, so deal with some of the environmental issues in the neighborhood, provide more access to food, clean air, and transit options, build housing near the BART station, and make it affordable to people in the neighborhood. Work with existing businesses and property owners in the area, especially the Airport Business Park. So that's some of the things that we've heard, and we want to see if there's more ideas and more themes that will come out of that we'd like to make sure that we can address.
It's Ed on the other end. Ed McFarland. I'm a principal at JRDV Architects. We were selected by the city 2.5 years ago now to develop a master plan with the city around the Coliseum district area and to put together a development team who could implement the plan. And this represents that master plan, which is currently in the specific plan, the basis for the specific plan in the EIR that's underway. And the master plan covers all of these areas. This is the Coliseum area. You all are familiar with that, with the Coliseum in the arena. The Coliseum BART station is here. This is San Leandro Boulevard, Hagenberger, I-880, Edgewater Business Park, and this is the edge of the airport right down to the south. Okay, this is the edge of the Northfield. The gate to the airport is right here. So it essentially stretches from the airport to BART and BART to the bay. And the master plan grew out of some public policy goals that the city set originally for this project, which have still retained to this day, and I think are the fundamental basis for the plan. And the first one was the need to retain the teams. I think everyone in Oakland feels that all three teams hopefully can stay. We want to keep as many as possible. But I think the second thing, and I think that's clear to most people, but I think the second thing is also important, and that's to maximize the economic value capture of these teams. I think today we've got all three teams. People come to a game, they drive in, they fly in, and they leave. They don't really spend time in Oakland. What we're trying to do is really capture as much of the economic incentive and economic value of the fans coming to these games as possible. The second thing is to create a regionally significant science and technology footprint for Oakland. Many of Oakland's residents and East Bay residents work in the science and technology industry, but most of the jobs are in the West Bay. What we're trying to do is transfer a footprint of those jobs over to the East Bay, but also, as a secondary, trying to integrate Oakland residents into this economy. The science and technology economy in the Bay Area is the most dynamic part of the economy. Integrating Oakland residents into that is going to be critical, but it can't happen if those businesses aren't here. We're envisioning as a tech campus that integrates into this mixed-use area, but starts at the waterfront and then works back towards 880 and eventually going to the other side of 880. So again, the goal is to create a balanced employment and residential district. Okay, here's just a conceptual view of what it might look like along the waterfront.
Right now we have a station that's woefully inadequate and doesn't necessarily serve the functions that exist there today. Any of you that went to any of the playoff games, you saw inadequate pedestrian walkway, inadequate platform at the BART station. I had to struggle over the last 3 years to put a fence around the parking lot. So that's where we're at.
And the specific plan can look at that, and it will be stronger and better if the specific plan is world-class in its environmental impact, and its environmental study, which is not just restoring the slough, but answering to all of the neighborhoods along the eastern side of Hagenberger Road, including those folks next to the crematorium, on how this is going to impact. their air quality, their exposure to toxics, and their exposure to pollutions. And I encourage you to take very seriously the comments you've heard here about higher expectations around public investment. Angie's right about Amazon. You may not like it as, you know, commercial developers, but she's right. I mean, and to make sure that the specific plan references that and use this as an opportunity to give people some confidence that they've been heard as well.
And we would like to
And
invite
thank you.
the developers and the city planning staff to come to our community center and give us a presentation and have a discussion with our residents about how this project will affect, impact, and benefit our community.